Introducing the chocolate starfish
Chocolate pudding.
and the hot dog flavored water. You know who that is?
Limp Biscuit.
Limp Biscuit style.
Right. You know where that came from? The hot dog flavored water?
Not the hot dog flavored water. I know the chocolate
Remember that?
starfish. No. What is it?
Oh, I didn't know the chocolate starfish.
Chocolate starfish. It's a butthole.
Butthole, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so the hot dog flavored water, I saw Fred Durst did an interview on it, right? Back then. The weird guitar guy that they had.
Yeah.
So when they were on tour, they said those motherfuckers would go into like a 7-Eleven gas station.
Okay.
And the weird guitar dude would literally drink the fucking the hot dog stand.
Yeah.
The catch that would catch all the hot dog juice, he would fucking drink it.
Because he was just out of his mind.
Because he's fucking crazy, yeah. So they put that as part of the title, the hot dog flavored
Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. What a fucking maniac Limp Bizkit is. I love it.
He drank. It's fucking weird.
Well, ladies and
more
gentlemen, welcome back to the Black Sheep Narrative.
Well, you're not gonna welcome back.
I gave him the Limp Bizkit style intro. I'll do a new intro every week.
There you go.
This week you get Limp Bizkit. Next week, who knows?
Next week might be Dolly Parton.
She's a beautiful woman. Don't you put her down.
Don't you talk about Dolly Parton that way.
Okay. So last week's episode was episode 3, Artificial Intelligence.
And you know what? I'm so bummed. It's like we did the talk and we went down rabbit holes. Mm-hmm. And then I get home and I see the post about fucking alien mothership in our solar system.
That was like 5 minutes.
Why did we not? God damn it.
5 minutes after we put up the podcast, you're like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, this would have been great. And we'll talk about that today. But there was a couple other things too, wasn't there? Like
a lot of stuff happened.
I was like, man, what the fuck's going on?
A lot of shit happened this week. I mean, we'll do the daily week recap. But the one thing that struck my mind, what I saw this week, it was published on 2 days ago. So real quick. So bipartisan group of senators push Pentagon to provide F-16s to Ukraine. Call on Defense Secretary to provide military assessments.
Damn.
My question is, where does it end? What's the end goal? We don't have an end goal.
We don't. I mean, it's just like back in the day. Look at what we provided Afghanistan with all the tools and weaponry and training to try and defeat the Russians when they invaded Afghanistan. It's the same thing happening now, except for it's Ukraine. Mm-hmm. That backfired on us, though, providing Afghanistan with all the training and everything to beat our adversary. Mm-hmm. Because we were next in the hopper to fight them.
Yep.
But
history repeats itself. And 100%. We seem to forget every decade because there's a lot of shit going on in the world. But keeping up with Ukraine stuff is frightening, to say the least. I mean, I think a lot of veterans are. There was actually a march that I saw. One of the first marches they had against funding war in Ukraine. I think 5,000 veterans showed up in Washington, D.C. It wasn't a big march, but I saw it was posted.
What was it?
And I don't know if it happened yet, but I saw a guy put up a Instagram post that they're trying to do a protest against the war in Ukraine, basically, because there's a lot of veterans that are angry about it. We're not really having a say about our funding going over to Ukraine, and they see the writing on the wall that if we keep increasing our forces by providing F-16s, by providing tanks, I mean, obviously the next logical step is we have boots on ground, and we don't want that. I don't think any of us want that.
I don't think we do.
We don't have any say in that.
Yeah, and I guess I don't fully, there's a lot that I don't fully understand. Like, I'm sure there's a reason that we don't want Russia to take Ukraine, right?
Agreed.
But I don't know. I don't understand the full political landscape of what could happen if Russia gets the land.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I'm starting to become a pacifist.
Yeah.
Just bring our funding back to the U.S., baby.
Well, and that's the thing, dude. And that's what scares me. Like we talk and we go down these rabbit holes. We talked about the bank collapse, right? And I don't know if you saw that they just approved a $30 billion bailout for the banks.
Yep.
And I remember back in high school, and here's the crazy shit, right? I'm gonna look up the stats. But I remember sitting in my government class, which I rarely paid attention to.
Yeah.
I was asleep half the time. But I remember my teacher, and I could hear the stress in his voice. And he was like, you kids don't understand that we are about to hit $1 trillion deficit. Mm-hmm. And when we hit $1 trillion deficit, shit's going to start going haywire. And I could see that he was stressed. I could hear it in his voice. And I was like, oh, this must be a big thing, right? And now, where are we at with the trade deficit?
Oh, my God. Trillions?
So he was stressed that it was approaching 1 trillion back then. And right now, the U.S. trade deficit,
I'm going to say 20 trillion.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. We just print
like
money.
And that's where we're at now. And that's where, because we hit our cap as a country. And so Senate had to go in and approve the printing of more money because we're maxed out. Mm-hmm. We owe so much to, and who do we owe it to?
You know who we owe it to.
We owe it to China.
Yeah.
Like we are, honestly, we're personal property of China right now. We owe them so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
And we just keep printing money. And money doesn't just, like the old saying is, money doesn't grow on trees. Like we're acting like it does, and we just keep printing fake money, right, to cover our deficit.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Well, that's why they say inflation is really bad too right now, with everything in COVID. But like we printed a fuck ton of money during COVID and gave everyone a little check.
Yeah.
A little check.
And what frustrated me, and I know people that were in this situation, it pisses me off, that full well took advantage of the paychecks that were given out, because they were handing out paychecks every week. Like, here, you gotta live, you gotta go spend this money, keep our economy strong. And there are people that are like, I'm making more from these fucking paychecks than I was from my job. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna live it up. I'm gonna live off unemployment. I'm gonna get these paychecks, and it's took advantage of the situation.
Well, let's talk about the what was it considered? It wasn't a loan, but to small businesses that you could take out X amount of money. Mm-hmm. For small businesses. And there was people that were taking tens of thousands of dollars,
right,
lying to the federal government and not using it
now
for payroll, right?
They're going after criminal charges for a lot of these companies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Even my accountant was like, hey, there's all these benefits. You should take out these loans. I was like, I don't need the fucking loans, right?
Yeah.
Now, hindsight being what it is, I wish I would have taken out the loans, because we probably could have used them at the lower interest rate they were at.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't need it. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to take advantage of this situation. So now I do have loans out at a much higher interest rate than what they were offering then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you kind of get to that gray area where it's like you cross over into being unethical and exploit
the system.
Yeah. And that's just never been my style.
You always got to pay the piper. It all comes around, though. That's what people, you got to pay the piper. Isn't that a saying? Or did I just make that up? Copyright it.
No, you
pay the piper.
You're showing your age right now. You got to pay the piper.
You got to pay up.
All these millennials are going to be like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Pay the piper.
So that's the saying, right?
Dude, someone hit me up on Instagram the other day, and because I did a post about like how to see your followers.
Yeah.
And get rid of.
What's that?
And someone was like, oh man, thank you. Someone else was born in the 80s. I was like, bitch, I was born in the 70s.
Yeah, what was that post you put up about? Because Instagram just came up with a new update or something like that. Was that what you were talking about?
I guess it's been there. It's just I'm old and didn't fucking realize it. So I hate being on Instagram, but now I like it again, because you can go click on the Instagram logo in the upper left-hand corner, and it says following. If you click following, it gets rid of all the fucking people that you don't know. Like, who are these people that kept showing up in my feed? And it's like, I'm seeing them fucking lifting weights and doing dances. Like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Why am I? It gets rid of them. And it gets rid of a bunch of fucking ads that you were seeing.
Oh, no
You're still
shit.
going to see some ads. You're still going to see paid ads. But it's like when you were on that Instagram algorithm feed, you're seeing ads left and right and people trying to sell you shit.
Yeah.
And it's like every once in a while you see a friend's post, but it was like from 3 weeks ago. And based on how they were trending in the Instagram algorithm, like I was seeing a post from, it would be the same person too. It's like, why am I seeing this person over and over? This post is like from 4 weeks ago. This post is like from 8 days ago. Yeah. Like if you go in there and select following, now you just see the people you're following and it's in chronological order. Oh. So now it's like I'm back into Instagram. It's like
we're back.
I want to see my people that I follow. I don't care about. And all of a sudden I'm seeing posts from people. It's like, fuck, I haven't seen you in years. I forgot I followed you.
Yeah,
you know.
You're right. Yeah.
So do that.
Okay, I have to do that.
Do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't save. So every time you go into Instagram, that's the thing I don't like is you have to go in there, click the Instagram logo, select following. Every time. But whatever.
Instagram, if you're listening, save that bitch.
Yeah. Save yourself.
Save. Yeah. Yeah, because you know what's frustrating me now is you'll go into a friend's feed. Like if you click on, you go into a friend, whoever it is, you go into their feed and then you're like scrolling. Cause again, I've witnessed the people that you forget that you're following and you're like, oh, you're still alive?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything from you in years.
And the thing that spawned this with me is like, you know what? I did like an Instagram giveaway on UXO. Mm-hmm. I haven't fucking seen it. Does it exist? I don't know. And then I found out, I was like, why am I not seeing posts of people that I follow?
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, here's what you need to do. And so I did some Google research and I was like, oh, fuck. And there's a lot of people. So I did that post and was like, I may be the only asshole that doesn't know this. Right? I did a little fucking like, did you know.
The poll. Yeah.
A poll to see. Mm-hmm. And it came back 70-30. 70% of the people didn't know. And I was like, oh, I'm not the only fucking one. So there's a shit ton of people out there that don't know about this feature. Get rid of the assholes you don't know. Get them out of your fucking feed.
Yeah. And the advertisements, all the advertisements. But that I was going back to that. So I go into a person that I follow, and then you click on their pictures or videos, and you can scroll down to see all of them. But it seems like it's like 2 pictures, ad. 1 picture, ad. And it's like,
even when you're in their profile, and someone else's picture will pop up and be like, hey, who the fuck are you?
I had no idea. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
So if you're under following and you go to the it gets rid of that shit too, which is fucking great.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. We need more of that. But
yes, we do.
So you're talking about F-16s going to Ukraine.
Yes.
I don't know if did you see that they downed one of our drones? Russia did?
Yes, I did. I got the instant message. If you guys don't follow real news, no bullshit on Instagram.
Oh, I don't follow.
That's what I like. I like them a lot. Real news, no bullshit. All one word. They put up a lot of, it's what do they consider themselves? Unbiased news without an agenda, giving it to you straight. Follow our backup. And they talk a lot about what's going on in the world news, and then they'll have breaking news, and they're pretty quick with it. And before I saw it on whatever Fox News, CNN, whatever you guys follow. I saw
it on the nightly news.
It was up, and because that was 3 days ago. U.S. drone operating near Ukraine crashes after quote-unquote unsafe and unprofessional intercept by Russian fighter jets.
Did you see the videos?
I haven't seen the videos. Oh, man. No, I just started reading into it.
The jets were, there's videos, they showed it on the news from the drone, and the jets coming right at the drone, and they were like over the top of it, but they were emptying their fuel tanks to basically douse the drone so it couldn't see. Mm-hmm. And the first jet hit it with fuel. Second jet came flying over, hit it with fuel. Another jet came flying over to try and dump fuel on it. Mm-hmm. Got too fucking close, and they clipped it. Boom! They clipped the drone. And, the drone was down in that sea. And this is in international water. It wasn't over, and Russia's claiming that, they were in our airspace. But no, the drone was down in international water. Yeah. And there's currently Russian ships out there trying to retrieve our fucking drone.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. U.S. is like, hey, we were able to, they have technology where they were able to go in and shut down, delete everything within the drone. Mm-hmm. So if they get it, they're not going to get, they'll see the technology that we use, but they're not going to get any sensitive information out of it. Yeah. But it's fucking bullshit.
I know. I saw that. And then like a couple months ago, we saw, what was it? The missile that hit Poland. That was another big one that everyone was freaking out about.
What?
It was actually, I'll look it up so I'm not spewing disinformation, but it ended up being a Ukrainian, whether it was artillery shell or missile, but people were saying that it was a Russian missile that entered Poland. So, and Poland is under the European Union, so people are freaking out about it. Yeah, they're in the UN. So people are like, this is it. I remember just going through, because I mean, everyone overreacts, but everyone's like, World War III, here we go.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there, people.
It's the fucking escalation that's killing me. Like, there's Tulsi Gabbard talks about it a lot, and she's a very big proponent. If you know Tulsi Gabbard, she was a senator. She used to be a senator for Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And she talks about a lot, because there's no one in Congress that is talking about what do we want to see in Ukraine. We're just this build up, keep putting more money, keep pushing more tanks, more. Yeah. Now they're talking about fighter jets. It's like, what is the end goal? Can we talk about the end goal? Can that just be on the table? Can we have a conversation, a bipartisan conversation about, well, what is this going to lead to? What do we want to see?
Yeah. Or why are we investing this much money into it?
Because we saw what happened in the Middle East, and I don't want to see sons and daughters go over there for what? Yeah. Like, what is our goal here? Right. But I feel like there is no conversation about that. Have you heard a conversation about? I don't hear anything about it. And still being in the military, obviously, it scares the fuck out of me, because I have so many friends that serve our country. Yeah. You know, I'm out the door, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm a pacifist, dude. Don't go into any more.
It's not being a pacifist, but I think that, like, people need to wake the fuck up. Like, I think there are a lot of people that are watching what's going on and are engaged and in tune. But I feel like there's a lot of people that just tune out. They don't care because it's not our country, and they aren't really thinking about, like, how this is currently affecting us, even though they may not see it. Yeah. And how this could potentially affect us in the very near future.
Yeah, and think about it. You work a 9-to-5 job, and you have kids, and you have to go home, and you have to cook dinner, and, like, you're just worried about getting by. Like, you're looking
100 yards in front of you.
I'm just trying to pay the bills. I'm just trying to pay my lease. I'm just trying to pay my rent, like, and have food on my table for my family.
And I get that. People have to. Yeah. I do it. You know. Yeah. And
they're already.
But you have to look outside of that.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Because if we were to go into a World War kind of situation, you're looking at a draft, you're looking at X amount of people going to have to be taken for selective service, you know, men and women.
Selective service. And that's going to, but even outside of that, right? Like, let's say it's people are older, they don't have to worry about that. But we go into a wartime situation, and if it is with bigger adversaries, bigger fucking countries that we do trades with, those trades, exports, imports, get shut down.
Businesses are going to get shut down.
Small
businesses. There's going to be no one to go to those businesses.
Look at supplements, right? Supplements, the industry that I'm in. A lot of people don't understand this, but I think like 80% of the whey export comes from China.
Yep.
Right? Yep. We do a lot of sourcing, and that's why I think we realized it when we had the COVID shutdown, and it became so hard to get components in from, like, look at what happened to vehicle manufacturing. And we realized, like, there's an importance for us to bring this manufacturing capabilities in country.
Yeah. We didn't have a chip facility in the U.S.
None.
Not one.
We relied 100% on China.
Yep.
And there's a lot. There's a lot that is going to happen if we go into conflict with a bigger country. Mm-hmm. It's going to affect everybody. Businesses, the economy, everything. And what sucks is, like, the big companies like Halliburton and the companies that thrive off of war are going to make the Raytheon. Yes, those motherfuckers are going to make money.
God damn, they're going to be fucking, yeah.
God, I need another drink.
Yes, it is true.
This episode is brought to you by Woodford Reserve.
We are not sponsored by Woodford Reserve, but
we've killed this bottle.
I know. After 4 episodes. Episode 4, baby.
We're not alcoholics, but sometimes you have the stress of these conversations.
Episode 5, I think. Nope, episode Yeah, episode 5. We started with episode 0. It's fucking me up. And other better news.
Let's do it.
You remember Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom? Remember that movie?
You're showing your age again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You remember Short Round?
Yeah.
His name is Ke Hu Quan. I'm probably saying that wrong. This week, he won an Oscar.
Yeah, his first one. I saw that.
Did you watch the videos?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dude,
it made me teary-eyed.
Yeah,
man.
listening to his speech.
Oh my God.
He was in Goonies too. And so thinking about how old he is and how far he's come in his acting career, and he just won his Oscar, but also knowing that he grew up and coming in here as a
refugee.
It's like,
He was in a refugee camp for a year.
Dude.
And he thanked his mom for that, who was still around and was watching him win his first Oscar for best supporting actor in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you haven't seen that movie, that might have been one of the best movies I've seen in the past couple of years. It's incredible.
So I never even heard of it until that Oscar night, because they won when the Oscar started. Was like Oscar, Oscar, like back to back to back. And I was like, what the fuck is this? My daughter's seen it. And she's like, yeah, I went and saw it. It was a great movie. She's like, it's weird. There's a lot of, I was like, fuck, I never even heard of it.
It's like interdimensional. They can like go through dimensions and
that's
stuff.
That's what my daughter was saying.
It's incredible.
Is it?
I didn't even realize that was him.
Yeah. I didn't know until he was doing the speech, and he was like, long range since doing Goonies. And I was like, wait, that's a kid from Goonies?
It's something to say. He kept talking, and this was what really got to me, was keeping your dreams alive. He was like, for the past, I think he said 20 or 30 years, he could hardly get a movie role. Being one of the best child actors in Hollywood with Indiana Jones, which was a huge blockbuster.
Dr. Jones.
The Goonies, which
Jones.
is still a classic film.
I love that movie.
One of the best kids films with kids in it of all time. And then he talks about how he couldn't get a role after that. He said...
Because he was just viewed as the little kid. You lost your cuteness.
Yep, exactly. And he said for 20 or 30 years, he kept trying and pushing. And he said... At one point, I thought I was going to give up, and he gave all his credit to his wife, Echo, who he talks about her saying, never give up. It's going to be your time. You're going to get this. Keep going. Keep pushing.
To have that belief.
Yeah, something to say. I don't know. It's just motivating, right? Because a lot of people lose their dream. There's a lot, like 30 years. Could you imagine doing something for 30 years and not seeing success out of it, or not gaining any momentum? Like, with a company or something, you start off and you're fucking crushing it, and then all of a sudden, nothing, no sales, nothing. For 30 years, you're still putting in the fucking work. You're still step after step fucking grinding, fucking, I don't know, fucking digging up fucking trenches. I don't know. Anyways, but most people would just fucking give up, say, wow, it must have been, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, you just inspired me.
It pumps me up, dude, to see that speech.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, go watch that, because I'll be honest, now that you bring it up, like, it wasn't even on my radar with this conversation, but his is the only speech that really captured me with the Oscars. I think I watched like an hour and a half of it, but his, I was like, yeah, and you're right, it does get you teary-eyed, because you could see the emotion, you could hear it in his voice, and they're only given 45 seconds to speak, and they play the music, and they kick people off stage, right, if they go over the 40. His was well over 45 seconds. They didn't play the music.
Yeah.
They let him roll.
Yep.
And, very powerful speech.
Yeah, and then the woman that's opening up, because they don't know who wins. Even the people that are like presenting the Oscars, they don't know who wins. She opens up the little mail package, and she sees his name, and she starts like almost crying when she sees his name.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
It's just something to say, man, like doing something for 30 fucking years, whatever it is that you do. Like, I mean, we're obviously in the workout realm or like business realm, but imagine doing something for fucking 30 years and you don't see any progress. All you get is shit on. There's no sales. Fucking, you're not gaining anything on your deadlift, and you just keep fucking grinding. Like, that mentality is so rare. Like, especially now in today's age, like, man, you don't see progress within 2 weeks. You're like, on to the next thing.
People always want instant gratification, and
I mean, that's where our culture's at, and we talk about that a lot with social media and access to whatever you want at the touch of a button you can get, right?
Yeah.
And
you had a call with this dude earlier, and he always has good ideas, and he runs shit by me. And my frustration, and I've told him, like, he's too quick to jump ships. Like he always has a different idea. He has something. Like you gotta let stuff, like, you gotta let it boil.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word. You gotta let it cook. You have an idea and you believe in it. Like, you gotta jump in head first, and you gotta give it time to develop.
Yeah.
Had I, even looking at my business, I didn't make a profit for the first 4 years, but I had belief and I kept pushing. And I saw a lot of supplement companies come and go because they're looking for that quick win and that quick paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
Yep.
That's with any business.
Yep.
And, but it's a different mentality too of individual. There's people, I was kind of thinking about it earlier, there's people out there that want to bitch about stuff, that find reasons to complain about what's wrong in our society or what's wrong in their world. I got to bitch about it. And then there's another individual that sees something that's wrong, and they're going to go after and fucking fix it. They're going to do something to fill that void to make life better. And it made me think of you. Like, honestly, like, look at what you're doing with Until Death Barbell, and, the gym situation. Like, the valley here is saturated with gyms, and you have different gyms for different mentalities, and there's some good gyms, and there's a lot of bad gyms. Yep. And you're now filling that void. You're chasing another dream, and you're opening up
the gym. Iron Legacy Barbell.
Boom! Iron Legacy Barbell.
April. Yep.
Like, dude, that's huge for you guys. I'm stoked for you.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's again, it's like you talk about filling a void, or you see a problem in your community, and we've talked about it a lot on the podcast. It's like, no one is going to do it unless you fucking do it. Right. Unless you step up to the plate. Because there's a lot of people. How many people have you ever talked to that says, I'm going to open up a gym, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? And it's just like, it never fucking does it. Nope. They never do that.
And that's something I made mention even in our Discord group too, right? Because I was thinking about, like, our society holds so highly the thought of an idea. Mm-hmm. Like, ideation and ideas are gold, but it's really not. Ideas are worthless. It's execution, and most people just fail to execute.
Yeah, whether they're scared or they don't believe they have the capital to do so, but you can figure it out, dude. You can, if you have an idea, like, you can figure out the people or the resources, like, but it's up to you. It's up to you to do that, right? But you can step up and do it. That's like, I'm not doing, and you're not doing anything fucking special. We don't have any more gifts than any other person on this planet to start a business or to build a company or whatever, It's having the people around you, because you can't do this shit alone. You can't. You gotta lean on people, and there's a lot of people out there that have done that, and to learn lessons from those people that have succeeded or failed, and to integrate that into whatever you want to do, but it's putting that step forward. Everyone has ideas. Everyone.
Even, like I said, the guy I talked to earlier, it was like, he always has, and they're great ideas, but he just doesn't lean in and execute and put the work in. And that's where you're absolutely right. It's not only the execution, it's just having it's having the, not personality, it's having the determination, it's having the drive to go do it.
Yep.
And like you said, you may, and I feel you hit the nail on the head when you said it's fear. A lot of people are afraid to do it because they're afraid of failure, or they're afraid of what, but you're going to fail along the way.
Yes.
Failures are learning lessons.
Yes.
You fail in step one, that's fine. Fix it, course correct, keep going. Mm-hmm. Right? But such is life.
Such is life. And yes, you're going to fail, but you're not going to do anything worthy or anything big or any of your dreams or aspirations or goals and not fail.
Yeah.
And it's just putting one step in front of the other.
Right.
That's
exactly
it.
it.
It's little. It's just one day at a time, you know. And my mom always I would, you know, and whenever I'm feeling down or something, I call my mom, and she's always told me, hey, just take it one day at a time. Like you'll figure it out, but little chunks at a time, one day at a time.
When you're feeling down, you call your mom?
Yeah, I love my mom.
When I'm feeling down, I call you.
I love you too. But yeah, that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned from her is just one thing at a time. And I'm more scared of being on my deathbed with, you know, maybe it's because I own Until Death and I hear death all the time. And a lot of our clothing is based upon skeletons and like death. And like that's always on the forefront of my mind. But I'm more scared of being that time. Life is so fucking short, right? You know, every day is a blessing. And what I'm scared of is being on my deathbed, even if I get that, you know, because you might never get that. You might not, you know, like the stereotypical, like I'm on my deathbed in the hospital when I'm 90 years old thinking my regrets. It's like, man, you could go outside and get in a car accident right now.
Yeah.
And it would be over. You know, I'm more scared of not putting actions and doing stuff and trying to fulfill goals of mine. And I'd rather not have fucking regrets when it comes to that. Or if I die, have regrets. Yeah. If I fail, so be it. I tried. I'm going to give 100% to whatever. And if I fail, so be it. But I'd rather not have that in the back of my mind. I should have done that. You know, and you and me, we're not doing anything fucking special, man. We think of stuff and we're putting in action. We're just doing little things that anyone can fucking do. Anyone can open a business. Anyway. Anyone can do that. And there's so much resources to do it.
Yeah.
YouTube is like the best thing. Like
the technology age is so much resources.
But you know people, and I know people that are like, they come to you and they're like, I have an idea. You know, how did you do your business? How do I even begin? It's like, motherfucker, Google that shit.
Right. Yeah, no, dude, with my TikTok, like that's what blew my mind the most is, I'll have a bunch of people reach out and ask me questions about supplements and, you know, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I'm always game to answer, but then I'll have these guys that are like, hey, I'm starting a supplement company and can you help me? And it's like, yeah, you know, I'll help guide you. But then it's like basic stuff like, how do I open an LLC? It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, go to the Secretary of State. Google, how do I get an LLC?
Yes.
If you can't figure that shit out, if you can't figure out the basics, like you're in for a tough time.
Yeah, to get your
there's so many resources. Like I never thought of asking somebody like, how do I create an LLC? Like I figured that shit out, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I probably need a resale certificate. How do I do that? Mm-hmm. Dude, we have the World Wide Web. It's been around since the early 90s, I think.
The World Wide Web? I think it dates back to World War II. I think it came around. Yeah, I swear.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look it up.
All right.
Look
it
up.
Go.
Jamie,
fucking World Wide Web's been around since World War II.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
You can type anything in Google.
I'm not saying computers were around, but I'm talking about communication around the world.
And maybe it's because I'm just so stubborn that I never wanted to ask for help, that I just had to figure everything out on my own. And I failed a lot along the way. There were so many errors I made by not having a mentor, and that's my biggest regret in starting a company is I wish I would have had a mentor that could have helped guide me. Probably would have saved me a shit ton of money, but I'm so stubborn and I want to do things on my own and figure shit out. But I was never afraid to just do shit.
And I'm not.
When you fail, you learn from it. And when you win, you try to replicate it.
And I'm not trying to tell people, hey, don't ask questions to people that have been in their shoes. But at the same time, you have to lay the groundwork for yourself.
100%.
Like, don't come to me when you have no idea what to do. Like, lay some foundation first. And then, okay, if you run into an issue, I've probably been there. I've probably overcome that or have done
yeah.
that. But there's a difference between not doing anything and just expecting someone to hold your hand through the process.
Yeah.
Or fucking actually like, okay, I got the LLC done. I got my tax ID from the federal government. Like I got my reseller's license. Okay. I'm going for supplements. I have this company that's making my supplements. Hey, have you ever ran into this issue? Like I'm running into this. Like,
right. 100%. And I have companies do like I said, there's multiple companies I've helped and we've launched and they've done successful, and I've helped guide them to like different labs to help them with flavoring, to help them get trademark agreements and stuff like that. Right. Those are lessons I've learned, and I can pass that knowledge forward because you only learn that shit through failure. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to help them save steps and save money. But yeah, it's the basic stuff though. You're absolutely right. It's like people, you have to go out there and the foundation has to be laid.
Yeah. And
you have to do that.
At the end of the day, no one is going to help you more than yourself.
Correct.
So as we learn.
Oh man, tell you what. But going back to last episode, dude, talked about artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Dude, I got a lot of good, it was crazy. So I don't know. I think I told you, I'm sitting in the Mecca. I go in the sauna after my workout, just chilling, just fucking trying to release some toxins.
Do you go naked in the sauna?
Butt ass.
Okay, good.
Right.
Okay.
Some people will lay towels over their laps.
Yeah.
Right, to be No. You come in, you're seeing dong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
That's as is expected. I was okay. Good. Just making that clear.
No. So I'm fully covered. I'm in shorts. I wear my shorts and that's it. Mm-hmm. But this dude walks in and he sits down next to me and he was like, "Hey, I listen to your podcast." I was like, "Oh, he's an older guy." And he starts telling me about different things, and it's just kind of surreal to me. It's like, wow, like people actually listen to this.
Yeah.
But the dude, he starts telling me about his wife and how she's writing papers about China and, the artificial intelligence they're using and how they're embedding chips in their soldiers' brains to remove empathy.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I had to research it. I couldn't find anything specifically about the chips, but I did find some articles about the super soldier that China's trying to create, and it does talk in there that they're trying to create it to where they here it is. So mathematician, brilliant musician, a soldier, a man who can fight without fear, compassion, regret, or pain. And so like removing the empathy factor from it when they're out on the battlefield, that they're not going to have fear, they're going to charge straight ahead, and they're not going to have empathy for your life. Like that's crazy. And I'd like to learn more about it. I guess if there's been different things, like the U.S. has requested them to release information about the, what do they call it? The biological, technological warfare technology that they're trying to use. But that's crazy.
Yeah, you remember like back in World War II, the propaganda that they would push out to like dehumanize the enemy in regard to like the Japanese or the Germans. Obviously, it was considered. I mean, now looking back, it's like very racist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like they
were trying to remove empathy from
basically dehumanize the enemy to say, hey, these people aren't human. Like, and think about a soldier that has no empathy for their common.
You have to. And what was interesting is talking to this guy. He was an older gentleman. He's retiring, and he gave me his contact information because he's got a bunch of amazing contacts we could probably pull on this podcast. But he was a JTAC.
Okay. Yep.
Air controller, so calling close airstrikes from the bigger planes and stuff. But he, what I thought was really unique was we went down that avenue and talking about our time and where we'd been, and I told him about going over to Afghanistan. And when I initially jumped on the plane, my thought process, me being a combat soldier, was like, let's go kill all these motherfuckers, right? Mm-hmm. And when I got over there, it slowly, my mindset changed. After you see the enemy, you gain a respect for them. You understand like how they're living. You understand that a lot of them don't understand what the fuck's going on, right? Like being in Afghanistan, I remember we were in a key leader engagement with a village elder, and it got hostile. So there's our platoon, and we thought we were going to get into a gunfight right there with them in their village. They had AK-47s and stuff, and but what was crazy was, everything was tense. And my lieutenant asked the village elder, he's like, "Do you understand why we're here?" He's like, "Do you understand? Do you know about September 11th? Do you know about the planes flying into our buildings?" They had no idea. The village elder is like, no, I don't know what you're talking. They're only fed the propaganda, and the shit that they're being fed is being fed to them by the Taliban. So they see us as invaders trying to take over their country. And that was eye-opening for me when being a part of that and hearing the interpreter like communicate back and forth. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, they have no idea. They think we're just here to try and take their land. So I put myself in their position, and like, if we're being invaded by another country, I'd probably pick up arms and try and fight back too. Our freedoms.
Yep.
For what we believe in. And so you gain a newfound respect for your enemy and understanding the situation they're in. And it quickly shifts from like, let's kill all these motherfuckers, to like, fuck, I empathize with them. I know where they're at.
And think if you had a chip in your brain that doesn't do that.
Right.
You're just hungry all the time for
death.
Fucking death and blood. Always.
It's crazy.
I mean, it makes sense on the battlefield, right? Because you're showing empathy, but that's not a good soldier. I can't have you have empathy for the enemy. What happens if you don't take the shot?
Yeah.
Not to say that but
no,
like for
point.
any soldier, like, have you watched the World War I, Always Quiet on the Western Front?
I haven't.
Have you read the book?
I don't know because I saw it's like all subtitles, Netflix, and I saw it won a bunch of Academy Awards, and so I want to check it out, but
it's one of the best war films I've ever watched.
I just need to be focused when I'm.
And for anyone that hasn't read that book, because I don't think it's on the required reading list anymore for high schools.
It was?
It was on, yes. Because it was written by a German soldier. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Written by a German soldier, and it's basically reads that, like, from the beginning, it talks about soldiers being, like you're talking about, like, ready to fucking go to war. Like, let's go, let's kill all these people, whatever. Yeah. And talking about them figuring out empathy for and there's one scene in the film where a German soldier is fighting either a French soldier, I can't remember, a British soldier, and he's in a shell, in an artillery shell, and he has to fight, I think he has a sword on him because they don't have the guns or whatever, and he, like, kills him, but he doesn't kill him. He, like, hurts him really bad, and he has to stay in that shell for, I think in the book it was like 24 hours, but the guy is still alive, and he starts, like, looking at the guy and starting, like, being like, oh my God, what did I do? And tries to save him at the end, like, trying to, like, hold, like, because I think he got his artery cut in his neck. So he's trying to, like, put pressure, and he's crying. He's like, you'll survive, like, whatever it was. And and then at the end, like, I'm not going to spoil anything. So, but yeah, it's a great, one of the best war films I've ever seen for why we shouldn't go to war, basically.
Yeah. And, you have to do that as a human, because after you're over there, like I said, you see these people and how they live, and you do understand that, like, your enemy, it is a human. They have a family. They have people that love them, and that's the crazy thing too. And soldiers that have been over to Afghanistan will understand this. The most heartbreaking moment for me was, like, intel would always come down. It's like, hey, this kalat, or it's called a kalat, which is an Afghanistan house or compound. It's like, hey, we have intel that they have cache of weapons. We need to go in there, and we need to fucking just find the weapons and destroy them. So we would raid these kalats. We would, boom, kicking in doors, we're running in there. And I remember, like, in Afghanistan, it's wild dogs running around everywhere. But they're pets to these people. But these motherfucking wild dogs would run at us. We'd shoot and put them down. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. They're a threat. And I think of someone coming in my house shooting my dog, like, motherfucker. But so we go in and with the expectation we're going to find weapons and caches. and we're destroying shit. And keep in mind, these Afghanistan people, they don't have much as it is. They don't have much, right? And we're breaking shit. We're flipping stuff. We're looking for the weapons, and we've got the men fucking zip tied in the corner, and the women we weren't allowed to touch because we understand that like there's cultural boundaries over there. You don't touch the women. And when you're in their kalats, their houses, you are a guest in their house. It's their culture that they bring you treats. So we're raiding their house and flipping shit, and the women that we can't touch, they're bringing us treats and tea. What the fuck? Like, it was heartbreaking to me. It's like, and they teach you when you go over there, because you cannot, if you're like, no, you deny a treat being offered to you, it's an insult in their culture. So you had to take that tea. You had to take that tea. You had to take that biscuit. You had to eat it. And we're breaking their shit, little shit they have, looking for fucking hidden weapons. And if you've served in the military, you know that half the time the intel you get is bogus intel, which means there were no weapons there to be found, and we just fucked this person's house up. Mm-hmm. And now, who do you think that person sides with? We leave that house. If they were a good Afghanistan household, they definitely don't like the U.S. But anyways, I don't know. Just goes off on a tangent, and you have to have empathy for your enemy, and you can't be afraid to pull the trigger when that time comes, when you have a threat. But you also have to understand the history of your enemy and where they come from, what they're capable of.
Yeah. And taking that away, it's just going to be these fucking robots that are. They're human, but there's nothing there. No, all they see you is a threat. Doesn't matter.
And that's what scared me. You showed me that video of that tank in Ukraine, the Russian tank that's just bombing. It's one dude. And that's the other thing they teach you. And that's the other thing. And I respect the U.S. for doing this, but they always teach you the rules of engagement. And it's like, dude, I remember we had to recite it before every mission. Before we went out the wire, they'd always have us recite the rules of engagement. It's like least amount of force necessary to neutralize the threat. Watch the backdrop, civilian casualties, fucking. But least amount of force necessary to neutralize the threat. You had a tank shooting rounds at one dude left in the foxhole. He's the last dude alive in Ukraine. And he's firing back at the tank with everything he's got, but you got a tank fucking sending shells at him. That's not the least amount of force necessary to neutralize a threat. Like, take him as a prisoner. But that's fucked.
Well, we talked to Andrew about it, and he was talking about some of his friends that are over in Ukraine that were GWOT veterans.
Yeah.
Global War on
Terrorism.
And they said, this is nothing like we've ever seen before. He was talking about how they were they were in the forest area, and they were going up against tanks. And there was this anti-missile or anti-artillery machine that they had that usually shoots down aircraft, whatever, anti-aircraft missiles. There we go.
Yeah.
And he was like, we were shooting. I don't know if he talked about this on the podcast, but we were talking about it when we got off the podcast. He was like, we were trying to blow it up. And then that fucking thing came down and turned to the fucking forest and started shooting the anti-aircraft missiles into the fucking forests at the people. They didn't have tanks. They didn't have tanks. They were trying to blow up this anti-aircraft missile.
Yeah.
And it was shooting at the people. There's no rules anymore.
And that's the
there's
thing.
no rules.
And that's what scares me, is because we do obey the rules. Like, I've been there.
Yeah,
like,
Geneva Convention.
Convention, we follow it. Mm-hmm. And they even tell you, like, hey, you kill a civilian,
you're fucked.
You're going to jail.
You're fucked, yeah.
You're going to fucking... And so it did, there's a bad side to it, because it did make you hesitant to pull the trigger when you're in a hot situation, but you could quickly identify, what was right or wrong. But when we're going against a uniform on uniform, and they aren't following the Geneva Convention, they're just
fucking laying waste to our people.
Ugh. Yeah.
I know.
Scary.
I know it is. Freak, that's what keeps me up at night. Shit like this.
Oh man. So let's go back to Man, here's the thing that I think is funny is we are so desensitized as a country that I didn't even know about it. So I'm thinking like 15 years ago, if this would have been on the news, there would have been complete pandemonium. But I had to go back and research this and was like, is this fucking real or fake? But on the nightly news, they flat out broadcast that the guy that's the head of the UAP division, the unidentified, what is it?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah. So the guy at the Pentagon that's in charge of this division has flat out said, hey, we have found that there is potentially an alien mothership in our solar system. And it's sending out little, so is this what we shot down over Alaska? I'm not going to say that, but it's saying that they're sending out probe ships and they're scouring our area.
What the fuck?
They put this out. You can research this shit. I'm not making this shit up. It's legitimate. And I didn't even hear this. And when I saw this post, I was like, no, get the fuck out of here. So I went and researched. And I was like, oh, this is real. But people are so desensitized since COVID and all the other bullshit that our government has put out that people just are like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, whatever.
You fed us too many lines. We're not taking it. But had this been put out 15 years ago, 10 years ago even, like people would be fucking freaking out.
Be pandemonium in the streets.
So
tell me an alien mothership is sending out probes to probe us? Hopefully not me, but what kind of probes are we talking about?
I don't know. It says this is Pentagon officials suggest alien mothership in our solar system could be sending out mini probes to Earth. What the fuck?
Like I don't have enough to fucking stress about. Now there's fucking probes coming down from an alien mothership in our solar system.
Yep. And Military Times, Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership is in our solar system.
Great.
But nobody flinched. Nobody flinched at this news. Pentagon officials suggest alien mothership is in. Like, these are headlines from Fox News, reputable sources, Military Times, NBC News, New York Post, and nobody's talking about it.
It just got buried. It just got buried. It just
What
got
the fuck? What is happening?
The Oscars were on. What do you expect me to do?
I am blown away about this. And this happened the day after our last podcast, and I sent it to you. I was like, what is this? Is this real?
Yeah.
And I had to double check. I had to go deep. And this is legit. And they're saying that they're seeing like this movement of a large object, and it is not it's not an asteroid. It's not like it's moving unconventionally, switching directions and moving at speeds that are not like we have seen. And that's what they said about the shit that we shot down over Alaska, right? Like, didn't they have to shoot it down with like some sort of sonar? No, not the balloons. So there was the China balloon.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, China balloon. And then the shit they shot down over Alaska, they said was smaller. It was more like the size of an automobile. But the movements of it were so quick, they couldn't even shoot it down with regular missiles. They had to use some sort of sonar shit to take it out.
Okay.
I don't know. And that's why I'm like, wait, what? Who the fuck knows?
I don't know.
Dude, it's like, what can we trust?
There's so much information, so much disinformation, and then it fucking bleeds in together. So it's like, what is reputable anymore? And I think that's what happened during the COVID pandemic is people started seeing behind the veil of these people talking about X, Y, and Z. And they're like, wait a second, I can't take this. I can't do this. Like, there's got to be other ways. Like, all of this. And now it's all coming to light, you know?
Yeah.
And, but now it's the same people that are pushing that there's an alien mothership coming down. So it's like.
And that's what blows my mind is that just nobody's really like, there's no hubbub about this. Like, they're putting it out all over the news and nobody's reacting.
Great.
So who knows?
Independence Day and
right, and that's what it's like, dude. We are living in a real life Independence Day, but people are just sitting at their house like, wow, these motherfuckers. Yeah. These motherfuckers. What are they gonna think of next?
They'll never get me again. I'm not gonna fall for this bullshit.
We probably sound like some. This is shit that we're pulling out of the headlines, people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the news. You can Googles. The Googles.
Joe Rogan talked about it, so it's got to be 100.
Yeah, exactly. If Jamie's looking it up on Joe Rogan, you know it's true.
Oh, my God.
I have too much shit, dude. We have too much shit to worry. I can't. Just put that on my list of what I'm going to worry about before I go to bed. Is this alien mothership coming for Earth? Just add that to my Rolodex of woes.
Yep, pretty much.
I got World War III coming. I got an alien mothership coming.
People, I'm trying to open a gym, goddammit.
Man, come on, guys. Just give me a couple of years. Just give me a year, okay?
You offer these probes. Give them a membership discount.
They're in. Yep. If you're alien, so we're doing military discount as well as first responder discount. I'm gonna have to put in. I'm gonna have to put in an alien discount. You're gonna get the same discount. We come in peace, and if you want to get fucking yoked, come to Iron Legacy Barbell, and we'll get you we'll get you jacked.
Yeah. Come. Probe
I'm not gonna hey, there's no discrimination. We're all about respect at Iron Legacy Barbell. Don't matter who you are, where you come from. If you're from Saturn or you're from the Earth, we want to get you fucking yoked. And we will get you there. So hopefully you like picking up large stones. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. Oh, man.
That cracks me up.
It's a lot of tangents.
That is no, it's not a lot of tangents. It's just got a lot of stuff on our minds.
We do. But the good news is, so as we continue to make these podcasts, we continue to meet new people that support what we're doing and are obviously offering new people to bring onto the content, onto the podcast. So I'm super excited for people that we're going to have on here pretty quick. Yeah,
so they don't have to listen to our tangents.
Yeah.
No, they're getting information out of it. Come on. I
bet you some people are like, alien mothership, what the fuck? They're on Google fucking now.
Linda, the aliens are coming. The mothership.
Dude, the ChatGPT opened a bunch of eyes. I had so many comments from people like, this ChatGPT is amazing. Yeah. People using fucking Midjourney now.
Yeah.
Messaging me and
technology, it's beautiful and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do we miss anything?
I don't know.
That's all
sometimes on this podcast you're going to get structured conversation. Sometimes it's just going to be us rambling. Our commitment to you guys is we're going to post every Monday.
100%.
Every Monday.
Unless the alien mothership comes and they probe me. And then maybe it's every other Monday.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, we might need to push back to Tuesday depending on how sore we are.
Yeah, exactly. But they're gonna be jacked as fuck. I'm gonna get them so fucking strong at Iron Legacy Bar.
I'm gonna bring them on. They're gonna do protein and pre-workout reviews with me.
If you don't have an alien athlete on UXO supplements, I'm off the team.
All right, people.
I think that was good. I
need to get that off my chest. It was a rough day, so I had a couple drinks, but we're getting through it. Good content. I'm excited for your gym.
I'm excited too. There's a lot we can do with it, obviously, with Until Death bleeding into it. It's a natural progression. I've said that, but it's a natural progression for Until Death. Again, we fall back on our mission of supporting athletes in competitions, and we are going to put on at least 4 competitions, 2 powerlifting competitions and 2 strongman competitions a year. So rev up, baby. But
to start.
Right. To start.
Yeah. It's going to grow from there.
Yeah. It's just another place. I just want people to get strong. That's all I care about. I want an environment that is respectful and that breeds strength. I'm done with the bullshit. Done with, I'm just done with it. I just want a place that we can all get together and to get stronger, and that's it, because that's what the gym is, mentally and physically, to get stronger. A place that you don't have to worry about, that is respected by everybody that goes there, because there's going to be no tolerance for bullshit over there. Let's go. Rev up.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go, baby.
Make your trip up to Boise. Come see us.
Yeah.
Come check out the gym.
Come get some supplements.
Black
Sheep Narrative.
Out.